Religion has a way of getting people through times of fear and uncertainty. For 100 years, the pastoral staff at Eastern Star Church helped make that happen for its congregation.
Yeah, fighting for civil rights has been part of those tough times. And tonight's We Stand Together, News 8's Katira Winfrey sat down with senior pastor Jeffrey Johnson Sr.
Eastern Star Church, one of the largest churches in Indianapolis, and when you think of the work its congregation does, it's also big. They have 3 locations. Their goal is to put a lot into the community, from daycare services to a fresh food market to housing. They try to offer something for everyone. Senior Pastor Jeffrey Johnson says it's all God's work no matter what. And while times are uncertain, good faith and work will get us through.
Our church is 100 years old. I've been here for 32 years. I've been in ministry for 40 years. And so for me, the social justice agenda did not happen with Sean Reed or Breonna Taylor or George Floyd. I've been doing this for 4 decades. So this is every day for 4 decades being a part of this. And so as a consequence, I have with this aha moment that people are having recently with seeing with all the videos that are going on and the media showing it, and people are having an aha moment. We got a problem with injustice. We have a problem with racism. We have a problem with inequality. Well, I've known that for a long time. And so I've been in conversations with individuals trying to figure out, how do I fit in? What do I need to do? How do I respond to this? To business leaders, both black and white, trying to figure out what do we need to do as a business and a company. And some of these are Fortune 500 CEOs and CFOs and COOs trying to figure out inclusiveness and what they can do. I've been in contact with politicians who understand the policies and the legislations that need to be changed. There are some issues with legislation, with these laws that have excluded black and brown people, and it's sometimes people in poverty. And so what does that look like? And I've dealt with social justice leaders.
You know, all through slavery, through the civil rights, through now, churches and religion has somewhat been a heartbeat of a community where everyone looks to the church for reassurance, for guidance. Do you believe that the church has an even more vital role now as the entire world comes to terms with realities black people have experienced for centuries?
Yeah, I don't know if it's more vital, but I believe it is as vital. I tell young black people, we like to celebrate Harriet Tubman and Nat Turner and Frederick Douglass. But we want to at times separate them from Christianity and the black church. No, those are preachers. Those are people of faith who believe in Christ with a call on their life to preach and had a social expression of their faith. And so that has been a part of the black church from the beginning, and is still a part of the black church, that social expression of faith.
Talk about some of your experiences. What is it like being able to go out and minister to those communities, particularly in a time like this?
Yeah, one thing about it, I grew up in poverty, and I grew up in 46218 in Indianapolis, in Arlington Woods. Matter of fact, the location we're in right now, I grew up in this neighborhood, and this neighborhood unfortunately has been marginalized, and you don't see any grocery stores over here. It's a food desert, but it's also an economic desert. The average salary over here is $25,000 a year. That's not a living salary. And being in that desert, one of the things that I believe that I had to do was to come back to the community to help me make it. And so one of the things that Eastern Star Church, with a 100-year history, we've been doing this for 100 years, but we put in something about 3 years ago called the Rock Initiative. And the Rock Initiative, Renewing Our Community for the Kingdom, 4 parts to that. One is enhancing this community. We believe that these are some great people in this area. These are great neighbors and husbands and wives and single parents and children, And we just want to come alongside this community and enhance this community. And also we're looking at education. And then the ROC Initiative also does housing. And also the ROC Initiative also deals with financial literacy. For some, it's not a matter of not making enough. For many it is, but for some it's not. It's not knowing what to do with what you make. We're being able to do that both for members of our congregation and for this community to make a difference. That's the social expression of our faith. And all of that has to deal with social justice.
Anything else you think is important to add about just everyone do your part in pushing for change?
Yeah, we're seeking to stand together with this. It's not just Jeffrey Johnson doing his own thing or Eastern Star Church. No, we all need to come together, whether it's the government officials or the health officials or social justice leaders or the educators or the pastors and ministers and the people of faith, community leaders. This is something that we all need to be a part of to get the social justice that we're talking about.
We Stand Together series will continue tomorrow night on News 8 at 10 o'clock.
And remember, you can see all of our profiles online at wishtv.com.